I would now like to introduce Irwin Armstrong. Irwin is a businessman from Ballymena who will be well known to the Conservative Party members in the room. Irwin has been involved in the party since 1997 and he is currently chairman of the Northern Ireland Conservatives.
Good morning. A wonderful turnout today, and thank you all. It's very much appreciated. And you're at an event which we're confident will mark an important moment in the development of politics in Northern Ireland. But first of all, let me say I'm proud to have been born in Northern Ireland. I remain firmly rooted in Northern Ireland. I love this place, and from the north coast to the mountains of Mourne, from Belfast Lough to Lough Foyle, its beauty never ceases to amaze me. The friendliness and helpfulness of our people are unique anywhere in the world, and we who are privileged to live here are very fortunate. I believe in Northern Ireland. That's why I'm particularly pleased today to introduce a brand new centre-right party which is proudly and distinctively Northern Irish and has autonomy on devolved matters. The NI Conservatives will offer voters a meaningful voice in UK-wide politics, a full part of the Conservative Party, and a fresh common sense perspective on local politics, whether in the Council Chamber or at the Stormont Assembly. Little did we expect when we were planning our launch that the Belfast Telegraph would give us kind and timely help by releasing a poll in the same week which emphasises exactly why Northern Ireland politics has to change. The border, a dead issue with only 7% wanting a united Ireland, 60% of voters wanting a new option as an alternative to the current parties, only 40% satisfied with the no oppositional Stormont and the lack of accountability that entails, and an Assembly whose unpopularity apparently matches that of the outgoing Greek government. What a week to launch a new party. I won't bore you with all that party's organisational details, but a few elements need to be emphasised. For the first time, we will have a local party board, which will include its own chairman, leaders for the various elected groups, the Secretary of State and local association chairman. That will be very much an autonomous part within the overall Conservative Party. The regional chairman will attend party board meetings in London and will be a member of the Conservative Party National Strategy Team. We are already working closely with the party administration in London, and its full range of skills and training are available to us. We will be known as NI Conservatives, and you will see our new logo, which shows the Conservative tree assuming the shape of Northern Ireland. I can see where the artistic vision is coming from, but you can all make up your own minds. We have the unequivocal support of our leader, the party chairman, the party board, and most of all the party convention, Emma Pitting, and it represents party members across the UK. Everyone is represented here today by Emma Pitting, who also has been our local president for some years, as she mentioned. Once again, we are proud to welcome Emma, who has always been such a tremendous support to the whole party here. It's worth reiterating our words about the hard work offered by Conservatives in Northern Ireland going back to the 1980s. When I came in today, I see very many of those people here today, and I can tell you that their years of service, this party is truly thankful. What they have seen throughout their years in politics, and some of them a very long time, and what we can tell from the Belfast Telegraph poll, Northern Ireland Life and Times surveys, and the evidence of our own eyes, is that politics in Northern Ireland have changed beyond recognition in the last 15 years. But, as yet, the party system has not caught up with wider developments. The constitutional issue has been settled for the foreseeable future, and voters no longer want to hear constant wrangling about the border and symbols. Yet none of the current parties at Stormont has been able to move beyond the politics of carve-up to address the day-to-day matters which really make a difference in people's lives. The result is an electorate which is increasingly disengaged from the political scene. Polling shows that young people and women in particular are likely to to be turned off by the current shape of politics here, almost 45% of voters. choose not to cast a ballot in the last set of elections, which made none of the above the overwhelming winner at both the Assembly and Council polls. How do we go about changing it? It's a question many people have been asking. Well, we certainly don't have a magic wand or any miracle cures, but we will offer common sense policies that reflect the values of people in Northern Ireland and speak to the issues they care about. That means simple things like rewarding work and aspiration, encouraging strong families, and building a strong community. It means creating one future, one community, one Northern Ireland. It means that we believe, in the words of Benjamin Disraeli, no government can long be secure without a formidable opposition. In other words, no opposition and no accountability mean bad government and a loss of support in the community, and isn't that evident in the recent election turnouts? We want a system where the executive is accountable, where politics aren't distorted by fears about who may or may not become First Minister. We will constantly argue that the current system at Stormont has to change to accommodate an opposition, but until that time, it falls to people like us, Conservatives, people like you, to scrutinise, critique and criticise where necessary the work of the executive. And we'll shortly introduce you to the leaders of our policy groups, where we've charged with developing a fresh manifesto of policies to contest all forthcoming elections. NI Conservatives will work hard to hold the stale old parties to account in the Council Chamber and in the Northern Ireland Assembly. There was another survey conducted before the elections last year, which was designed to cut through all the old tribal designations and determine the true colours of the Northern Ireland electorate. It revealed that the average voter here is moderate to the right of centre. That's exactly where we stand. We want Northern Ireland to be successful with a flourishing private sector rather than an overdependence on public sector jobs. We want Northern Ireland to remain firmly within the United Kingdom, with people here able to vote for or against government at Westminster, and we believe that it's time to start participating in the Union rather than just defending it. We also want to build a close working relationship, particularly where it is mutually beneficial with our neighbours, whether it be to the south or the east. We want a truly shared future, and we believe that personal responsibility and freedoms are the bedrock upon which democratic societies are built. So what does all this mean when it comes to jobs? We realise that enterprise and entrepreneurship are the engines of a successful economy and lead to reduced unemployment. The people of Northern Ireland need to be given the tools to succeed in order to build a flourishing private sector which will reduce our dependence on public sector jobs. We understand the importance of supporting local businesses, and we will always combat the miles of red tape which too often strangle initiative, and I know that only too well. We will also continue to spearhead efforts to grow the private sector and evolve powers to vary corporation tax in conjunction with our colleagues in the government at Westminster. I've had the privilege of working with Owen on the issue of corporation tax for a number of years. When the idea seemed dead in the water, when it was rubbished by Labour ministers, when it had no wide political support, Conservative kept this idea alive. If a change does come about, it will be through the our efforts and the efforts of our Secretary of State. I was privileged to be part of Grow NI, which campaigned for corporation tax cuts and represented nearly every business organisation in Northern Ireland and a great many other businessmen and experts. If we can harness and direct the energy that was evident there, and I know Owen is very familiar with it, we should have no fears about the future of Northern Ireland. We will continue to advocate low business taxes and less bureaucracy in order to attract inward investment to Northern Ireland and to encourage Indigenous business. We are also determined, along with that, to combat poverty and protect the vulnerable. Government should provide for those who fall in hard times, but it must also encourage people back into work or training as quickly as possible. Becoming trapped in a non-rewarding low-income dependency lifestyle damages individuals and the communities from which they come. We support the principle that it should never pay more to remain in benefits than to work. These policies say a lot about what Conservatives are all about, protecting the vulnerable, but also looking out for the interests of people who are doing their best and making sure that everyone has the opportunities and incentives to make the biggest contribution to society that they can. We believe that with a little help, people rise to the challenge and fulfil their potential. As the Prime Minister emphasised in his messages to launch today, Northern Ireland Conservatives are also committed to making votes from Northern Ireland count in the context of Westminster politics. It may not be today or tomorrow, but that's what we are working for. We believe that people here are ready for a local centre-right party which deals with all the bread and butter issues and is fully plugged into the UK mainstream. Issues like taxation, the block grant and foreign policy are decided at Westminster, but our crop of current MPs are powerless and detached from the national party system. Northern Ireland Conservatives play a full role in influencing the policies of the UK Conservative Party, and we believe that Northern Ireland Conservative MPs will make Northern Ireland's voice heard where it counts at Westminster from the Conservative benches. To date, Owen, Secretary of State, he has been fulfilling that role in the Cabinet, and what a job he has done. On the block grant, on PMS, and even this week double jobbing, on the Coast Guard station, on air passenger duty, and more funds for the PSNI, and many, many more issues where without his help we'd have lost out. Thank you, Owen, for your consistent efforts in the people of Northern Ireland. You can read more about the politics we are proposing in the book that we've published today, and I hope all of you have got copies. If not, there are plenty. We're encouraging greater sharing and integration in our schools across communities, and I see from this morning's Belfast Telegraph, which sort of came out after the speech was written, that has got full support. More than 50% are in favour of shared education of one form or another, and I think that really reflects what the people of Northern Ireland believe, and we've got to start working towards that. We support excellent educational pathways, both academic and vocational, tailoring our further and higher education systems to provide for the skills which industry needs and businesses are crying out for. Arguing there should be no discrimination against English, Scots or Welsh young people who wish to study in this part of the UK, and no discrimination against students from Northern Ireland who wish to study in England, Scotland or Wales, whichever passport they happen to hold. An adaptable NHS which focuses on the quality of services provided to individuals and empowers patients, rather than concentrating on individual buildings and institutions. A public sector which is light on its feet, pragmatic and flexible when it comes to delivering quality public services. Scrapping the current CSI strategy and introducing one based on concrete targets for things like shared housing and schools and a monetary value for division. That's how we view some of the key challenges which face Northern Ireland today. There is a formidable task ahead, but we have on our side the boundless energy and enthusiasm of the people of Northern Ireland and people like you here in this room. Our forebears' ingenuity once made our country a powerhouse of the industrial world, and I'm sure you all know the companies of which I speak. Our party is open to all, and we'd ask everyone who cares about Northern Ireland to come forward and join us and get involved in our family of organisations like Conservative Future, which is represented here today, Conservatives Women Organisation, Conservative Christian Fellowship, and many more individual parts within our party. No one can underestimate the changes which have already taken place in our part of the world, or the unflagging spirit which has allowed this place to get up off its knees after 40 years of violence. Look at the building we're in today, and I'm sure for many of you it's probably your first visit. Isn't it a fantastic building? Look across the river to the Titanic Signature Project, a world-class attraction. Ladies and gentlemen, Northern Ireland has changed, and it continues to change, and we will be part of it. It is finally time for our politics to catch up. Thank you.